Getting there. And we're live. Well, hey.
Hey guys.
Hey guys, you're watching Tech Radar. I'm Basil.
Hey, I'm James.
And we got the phones.
we have phones. We've got Sony phones.
Yeah.
And we know you guys love those Sony phones.
I thought you said so many phones.
So many phones.
Yeah, we have so many Sony phones. But specifically, the ones we're going to talk about are the Sony Xperia XZ1 Compact, the small one, and the XZ1. Two flagships announced at IFA. And you guys have been really interested in them. Many of you guys have been hating on them. Many of you guys have been like, these are the best. But one question that keeps coming up is, how much do they cost? Do you know the prices?
I know the prices of the Compact. I'm not exactly certain on the XZ1. But the XZ1 Compact, which I'm reviewing at the moment, is £499 in the UK. So around 500.
And add £100 on that.
Add £100 on that, and you get an Xperia XZ1, I think.
Yes, you do. So yeah, the XZ1's $599. To quickly run through the specs, I'll take this one. You got a 5.2-inch full HD display. It's an HDR display. USB-C at the base. You've got stereo speakers that are louder than other Sonys, but more importantly, the design is fundamentally different. Now, it doesn't look different, but it feels really different to the XZ before it. It's a unibody metal phone.
It does. It was only a few days ago that I actually held them for the first time, because I didn't see them while I was at IFA, but looking at some of the photos and everything that John took for our hands-on reviews, I was like, that looks like another Sony phone again. But actually picking this up, it does look like a Sony phone again, but it does feel a little bit different and a little bit of a step in the right direction, I think.
It feels more solid, and it's also thinner. It feels thinner, like especially when you hold it side by side with the Compact. The Compact's a chunky beast. It's like a Tonka toy kind of, but you also, because it's thinner, it's got a bit of a camera bump. Whereas a Compact doesn't. How are you finding the Compact after a few days with it? You've had it since Thursday or Friday?
Well, I was using the Samsung Galaxy Note 8 before this, and then I went straight back down to the 4.6-inch screen here. And if you are looking for a smaller phone, there probably isn't really a better recommendation at the moment than
iPhone 7 or 8 is really the only, because that's 4.7,
exactly.
that's 4.6.
This is 4.6, but even the body, because you do it, there are still large bezels at the top and the bottom there, but not anywhere near as much as much as the iPhone 8. So yeah, I'm really enjoying the size of it. Actually, I'm really enjoying having a smaller phone for once, because it's quite a rare thing for us at the moment.
Interesting. You're finding that coming from such a behemoth of a flagship. 800 and how much that is the Note 8?
Yeah, 819 I think.
Yeah, so you're paying a lot less for that. You've actually got very similar spec. You've got a Snapdragon 835 in there and 4 gig of RAM, which is exactly the same as the Note 8.
It doesn't look as sexy though, does it?
No, no, the Note 8 has 6 gig of RAM.
But like what you're paying for with the Note 8 really is you're paying for the S Pen, and you're also paying for that sexy look.
You are.
So
sexy
and it does look very different, because this does look just like any Sony phone that they've released over the last 4 or 5 years. Really, when was the original Z1? When was the original Z even? So
so the Z3 Compact, and the Z2, Z1, the Compacts have all looked like this. They've also all had 720p 4.6-inch screens. So Sony in the last 5 years hasn't come any way in terms of improving their compact technology in that respect.
But a 720p screen may sound bad on paper, but actually from using it, I think we both agree that it genuinely looks great. Like there isn't really a problem at 4.6 inches.
No.
You never have a problem on the iPhone, so why are you going to have a massive problem here, really? So.
Definitely. We've encountered more screen issues on the XZ1, which has technically got an HDR sharper screen than we have on the XZ1 Compact. I haven't been able to spot a pixel come hell or high water, like looking really closely at the Compact. I'm getting older, maybe my eyesight isn't as great as it used to be, but either way, like, you've got over 300 pixels per inch sharpness. Spot on. Yeah,
genuinely. The camera, should we talk a little bit about cameras?
Let's do it. So let's run through the setup. It's a different camera setup to the XZ1 when it comes to the front camera. You have an 8 megapixel front camera, but then you can go to a 120-degree wide angle view that shrinks the megapixelage down to 3 megapixels. Oh no, so the wide angle 120 is 8 megapixels, then it shrinks it down to your like regular field of view to 3 megapixels, and then it upscales it to 8 megapixels. It sounds weird, but it actually does produce a half decent photo. It can record up to full HD video as well. But the rear camera setup is exactly the same. 19 megapixel stacked image sensor, capable of recording 960 frame per second burst mode. It's impressive and unimpressive all at the same time, right?
Yeah, and you've got that slow-mo technology that we saw in the Sony Xperia XZ Premium, which was MWC.
It was MWC.
It's been a long year. MWC, that we saw launched there, and the slow-mo tech was probably the most exciting part of that phone. So seeing that come down to the compact line, even, which is a lot cheaper than the XZ Premium, is a great thing. Yeah. I've been testing it out and absolutely loving it. You got some amazing slow-mo footage the other day.
I recorded a helicopter. Watched our full review for this. The helicopter actually captures the tines of the helicopter in rotation, and you can see. It moved really slowly, and it's just this is a helicopter in the sky. It's so cool.
I got some good footage of some fountains. I know you did the same, maybe shooting some fountains and stuff, and it is a really cool feature of it, and that is the thing that Sony does better than anyone else right now. It's a minor feature that not many people will use that often, but as a fun thing to play around with.
It is a fun thing to play around with, but you do need, and this is actually true of the whole camera experience, you need great lighting. This phone is not, and neither the XZ1 or the XZ1 Compact, they are not good phones in low light.
No, not at all. They're bang average in my opinion.
Bang average is
average in low light.
Right, spot on. And another thing that's not necessarily good in low light, but just like with the slow-mo is a lot of fun, is another feature that is brand new in these two phones, and that's the 3D creator. So for anyone who hasn't seen any of the reports on this, used it. In fact, I'll try and do it. So behind the camera, we've actually got Tom, our video producer, and he very kindly volunteered yesterday to be our 3D creator.
He doesn't look too happy about it right now that we're going to show you guys this, but we're just going to show you anyway.
I say volunteered. I totally strong-armed him into it. But you can see, there's Tom. You've got his 3D face that I'm panning around right now. Yeah, I am. So you basically got someone's 3D face. You have to kind of hold the camera around them and walk around them, and it does take a bit of time, and you have to have good lighting, but once you do, you create a 3D tool.
So cool.
But the use cases of it, they're all just fun. They're not.
Yeah, they're limited, aren't they? They're very, very limited at the moment, but they are fun. It is something that you can show off to your mates if you buy this phone. It is something that you can be like, actually, that is awesome. What you're actually going to use it for afterwards is quite limited.
You can get 3D prints done of them, and you can scan random objects, but you do need really good light, and you really need to know how this thing works.
We should do that. We should get a 3D print made of one of these. I really want to know how that works and how accurate that can be. What kind of scale are you talking on this kind of stuff? I'm really interested in how much data this phone can take from that kind of from the 3D creator.
Definitely.
This is the best part, though.
Shall I show the dancing one or the Iron Man one?
Oh, dancing. Dancing's fun, isn't it?
So, that's Tom, our video guy. And I mean, he's a badass dancer in real life. But, it's pretty cool. That you can have that kind of fun. Send it to the work WhatsApp group. Had a laugh about it. And that, I think, is what you're going to use this for. It has integration with movies. You can whack him into a Matrix type scenario, into a Star Wars type scenario.
Especially when we've seen people get really excited about Animoji and stuff last week. I know it's a very different concept, but it's still that kind of. There is only one use case scenario here, and it's just having a laugh with your mates and just being like, this tech is cool. We can implement it in this way. So I think it is a feature that kind of tackles the Animoji problem that everyone else can have at the moment.
Exactly, and they came out with it first. Actually,
exactly.
Sony launched it first. I don't mind that it's on there. I kind of really want to know how much money Sony invested in this, because if it means that the phone didn't have a feature, 64 gigabytes of storage. So this is a real sticking point for me that we'll talk about later when we come to the internals. But if it means that they spent a huge amount of investment in this, and it might not have been the most worthwhile thing in the world, but actually, if it takes off, awesome. And also, if it integrates with PS4.
That's true.
So if you're a gamer...
stick that on your FIFA character.
Stick not just your FIFA character.
That'd be awesome.
Final Fantasy. Imagine playing an RPG with you as a protagonist.
Interesting.
Call of Duty, all that stuff. I think that would be really cool. And I can totally...
that makes so much more sense. Why are they not doing that? That would be a major selling point.
If they came out with that at launch, that would have really, really sold it. But
I can make a topper for my Rocket League car. Yeah,
you can. You totally
that'd
can.
be awesome.
Then that would explain the R&D that would have gone into this.
Yeah,
if you know what I mean. But as it stands, I can't understand why Sony would invest in such a random feature, especially considering there's no special technology in here. This could technically be applied to any camera phone. It doesn't even take advantage of the stacked image sensor.
So will this feature come to the Xperia XZ Premium?
Yes, so it's going to roll back to the XZ Premium.
Brilliant.
Sony confirmed that at the launch.
Yeah. Okay, brilliant. And it is available on the XZ1 as well.
Yeah, so it's available on both of these phones.
Cool.
And it is cool. The camera is good in low light, and it has a whole ton of shooting modes. It has manual mode. The manual mode's a little bit limited. You can't shoot RAW for any enthusiastic photographers. And also, you have a maximum shutter speed of just 1 second. So things like light trails are going to be really, really limited. But it's still going to be a good point and shoot. And again, any old schoolers, you'll love the fact you've got the physical camera button on there as well. Before we jump into the internals, the storage and everything else like that, and video, and sound, because these phones have actually got a lot on them. Yeah. Let's run through some of your comments. So,
and keep them coming as well, please.
Yeah, a lot of you guys who opened this up wanted to know about price.
Yeah.
Some of you guys are asking about the Note 8 and the V30. Wrong chat.
So if you missed the price at the start, in the UK it's $499 for the compact and $599 for the Xperia XZ1. Those prices are a little bit higher in the US, I believe, but
and there's no fingerprint scanner in the US.
And there's no fingerprint scanner in the US. So the fingerprint scanner is inside the power button on the side of the phone, like it has been on previous Sony handsets.
It works well for me.
Yeah, really works really well. I love the positioning of it. It makes so much sense to me because I've always got my thumb stuck in that position of the phone, and I've only set up my one thumb on the fingerprint scanner because it's so. I just find it so impractical on this side to use any other finger.
I have it so that even if I pick up this way, it still unlocks.
Yeah.
So yeah,
no, I've found it absolutely fine with just using that thumb purely, and then even with such a small screen anyway, doing your normal lock code is not really going to be a problem on that screen. So
there have been quite a few people asking, compare it to the iPhone SE.
Okay, right,
interesting. And actually, that's a really good, the specific one is the iPhone SE worth swapping for this phone? For someone who wants to
So you own the iPhone SE and you want to swap to this. Depends how embedded you are into the iOS system, really. That's the main sticking point, I guess. If you're fine to move over to Android and that's something you're looking to do, this will probably be a perfect transitioning phone. I don't know how you feel about it, but I feel with a 4.6-inch screen, you're upping the screen a little bit. You're getting a few extra features that the SE didn't have when it launched a year and a half ago.
Front speakers,
you're getting front speakers,
and they're good front speakers.
Yeah, the camera tech I think is actually probably better.
So much better than the
SE. What else are you going to get? You're probably even going to get more supported, longer supported software. So
I mean, it launched with Android 8. This is one thing we haven't spoken about. These are the only two phones, aside from Google Pixel phones, that have the latest version of Android on them.
Yeah, and I've really enjoyed using it so far. Actually, it's not a groundbreaking update if you're desperate to get it on your phone at the moment.
How prettier the icons are. This is tickling me every time. You swipe, scroll down, and the animation, the icons just populating your notification tray. It's literally you just have that sound effect with doop, doop, doop in your head. It's really, really cool.
The feature I've really liked is I was even tweeting about last night where if you're playing something on Spotify, your album artwork comes through to the navigation bar and it appears, and it works not even just for Spotify, even the podcasting app and stuff I use, it brings it through to that. And it just makes it all feel a little bit slicker.
Have you
and
had
a little
picture in picture with Maps?
I haven't yet. No.
When you activate navigation on Maps and you go out of Maps, it picture in pictures it, so the map still floats, and even though it's a small screen, it works perfectly because I could jump into Spotify, change my tracks, and still have a display of my maps going in the bottom right hand corner. So yeah, I'd say it's I completely agree with James. It's a really, really great upgrade from the iPhone SE. Let's see what else you guys are saying. How's the battery on the XZ1 compared to the compact? Not quite as good as the compact. As simple as that. The XZ1 will just get you through a day. The compact might eke you into 2 days if you're a light to moderate user.
I'm finding it will last me a day and a half. It's kind of I was intensely using it on Sunday and I was on trains and everything all day, so I got quite a lot of use out of my phone there, and I still got to about midnight with about 15% left.
Wow, that's really good.
Really, really good. I wouldn't expect that from most phones right now. So, and it's the same size battery in the compact as in the XZ1. So,
and a smaller screen, the same processor demands, but actually they
Snapdragon
benchmark
835 as well.
Snapdragon 835, 4 gig of RAM. They benchmark slightly differently, and the compact benchmarks a little bit worse, but not into the point that it would affect performance with gaming, because they both game really well. But if it is throttled, if it is underclocked, it might not even be that it is, but if it is, I don't mind, because it's even more battery saving and it still performs like a dream. You don't need a huge amount of power to power a 720p display.
Exactly, yeah. And the Snapdragon 835 is really well known for being so well optimized. So it's a really solid battery life phone, to be honest. Your fast charging is also involved here as well, which is really useful. No wireless charging though. If you've just got excited about that after the last week,
which is
you're not going to have a wireless charging feature.
The compact, it's not metal. It's a glass fiber.
Yeah,
which is a combi glass plastic material.
It's a feature they should have put in, but I think probably the reasoning was that the compact, if the compact had wireless charging and the XZ1 didn't have wireless charging,
right,
you feel like you're losing a feature there. But because they've gone for the metal body on the XZ1, not really possible to have wireless charging. So quite a hard decision to make there, I guess, there for Sony.
Really good point. Really good point. There are a couple of more comments. iPhone 8 versus XZ1.
Sure. I haven't used the iPhone 8 yet, in all honesty.
No, neither have I. But guessing based on
specs. Talking specs though, again, it comes down to whether you're into your iOS devices or not. If you want to make the transition to Android and you've been using iOS, probably quite a good phone to be using for that, but probably also not really the easiest to get along with. I don't think the Sony. I don't think, but I haven't used the XZ1. I'm sorry, I'm talking about the XZ1 compact. How do you feel about how does the XZ1 compare?
Well, the questions. So this is Hashik. Hey Hashik. Sorry, I haven't given any shout outs. It's just been consumed by the Sonys. So Hashik, you've asked about both the XZ1 compact against the 8, and then the XZ1 against the Plus, which is interesting because actually, but the XZ1 compact, I think that I'd probably choose the 8 over it, only based on the fact you've got that 32 gig of storage. Yes, it has SD card expansion, but it doesn't have adoptable storage. And as a result, if you're like me, you like your big JRPG games, and you also have a 7.5 gigabyte WhatsApp backup, which I appreciate is ridiculous, but it's only going to get bigger.
You are ridiculous.
Thanks, I'll take it. It's only going to get bigger. So that means for me, I personally would just choose the iPhone 8 because it's available in 2 storage variants, 64 or 256 gigabytes, but you will be paying double the price, especially if you opt for the 256 gigabyte, way more than double the price. The iPhone 8 camera is also probably going to be better in low light. I'm only saying that because the iPhone 8 is better in low light, and as a result, I'm hoping that the iPhone 7 is better in low light than this, and the 8 is only going to be better. And again, I say this or the Plus. If you like your blurry background modes and your portrait lighting, go for the Plus. They're really cool features. It's going to be, what would you prefer? Would you prefer to have that slow-mo? Would you prefer to have that like portrait lighting? And are you more sold into iOS or are you more sold into Android? Would you? Yeah,
I totally agree with all of that, to be honest.
They both look like great phones, and I'm enjoying this. But one thing, like I can't call it on this just yet because I've been having a couple of screen issues. But when we do resolve those, we'll be posting our full review on the XZ1. Generally, though, it's the best Sony flagship to date, not counting the premium.
Well, yeah, definitely. I would totally agree with that. That's my limited time using it. While the compact, I think it's the best compact phone they've made so far as well.
Agreed.
But that's to be expected because it's the most recent. But yeah, I think a really interesting point though is that these phones don't look like the iPhone X. They don't look like the Samsung Galaxy S8.
But they look like the 8s, the iPhone 8.
They do look like the iPhone 8, that is true, yeah. But yeah, they still have that kind of design. But I just mean in terms of they do look like phones from the last few years that don't look that thrilling. They don't look like the LG V30 or the Samsung Galaxy S8 or the iPhone X. Any of those devices which I find really appealing at the moment if I was to be buying a phone. All of the Sony handsets are kind of that little bit step behind, I think, but they're alongside the iPhone 8. They're alongside trying to think of something else right now. They're alongside something like the OnePlus 5,
like the HTC U11.
Exactly,
like so HTC, Sony, and the Google Pixel. We haven't seen the Pixel 2, but the Pixel very much. I think
we will very soon.
Yeah. I think we will very soon too. But we're both going to be at the launch event, so fingers crossed they go bezel-less.
Hopefully.
Not Basil.
One of the rumours today was that they're going to have a squeezable screen like the HTC U11. So maybe they could go bezel-less with the squeezable, and I think that could work really well.
Remember that leak with the HTC with the swipeable side screen? I think that was for the Ocean, which ended up being the U11. But maybe that's We'll see.
Maybe,
we'll see.
maybe.
Watch this space. October the
4th for the Pixel 2 launch. But yeah, we're going to have loads of rumours. But hopefully do a rumours live stream and everything before that. So check back around then.
Definitely.
Cool. Back onto Sony. Sorry, I don't know how I got stuck on the Pixel 2 launches there.
Okay, I'm going to have to work from the bottom up. LG V30 versus Sony XZ1 camera. I can answer this one. The LG V30 camera is, I think, better just because it's more versatile. You've got that wide angle and it's also got the optical image stabilization, which is going to mean better low light shots. The video, I actually, in a lot of respects, prefer the Sony. The electrical image stabilization holds everything beautifully, and the 96 frames per second burst mode is great. But the image stabilization just really helps with low light.
Yeah, John McCann, who is Phones and Tablets UK editor, he totally agrees with that. He was at what someone he was with was using the LG V30. He was using the Xperia XZ1 at an event which was basically low lighting to the extremes, and said exactly the same. The V30 was just absolutely smashing it, and the Sony was really struggling there. So yeah, it seems that everyone's getting the similar kind of results.
So that was just so I didn't even shout out. That was from Omaraj. Cheers, Omaraj, for the question. Hamanu Mukdugachi asks, hey guys, is it worth to wait for a bezel-less phone from Sony? I have an Xperia X and I'm looking for XZ1 compact, but the fact it's plastic, I'm iffy. What do you think?
Okay, your last point there about how it being plastic, I really don't think you feel that. This does feel like metal, genuinely. I'm going to tap it there. Yeah, it feels nice. It feels premium. To be honest, I didn't even realise it wasn't metal when I was first using it, because I didn't realise that.
It feels as metal as XZ did.
Yeah.
So if you have an XZ, it's a similar feel.
If you've got an Xperia X, how old is that now? That's
very plastic. That is a year. So the Xperia X has the Snapdragon, I think 650.
Yeah.
And the 32 gig storage.
So that's the thing. This is a much more flagship phone than that ever was. Really, that was still kind of top end and mid range is how I kind of think about the Xperia X. While this phone is a flagship, just shrunk down into a smaller body. So maybe this is for you, and I don't think it's worth waiting for a bezel-less Sony, because I don't think that's going to happen anytime soon.
I mean, the Xperia X doesn't have stereo speakers. That does. I don't think it does. Correct me if I'm wrong. But
Sony aren't going to release any more phones until at least MWC next year. So you've got 6 months there at least. And I don't think that's something that's on the cards for them at the moment. Maybe they will completely surprise us at MWC, but there's been no leaks or rumours that are looking towards that soon. So if bezel-less is what you're looking for, I think maybe that's going to be something that you have to wait for your next phone. If you're looking to upgrade now,
at the earliest.
This will work. This will be perfect for you, I think, if you've got an Xperia X and you want a similar experience.
I completely agree. And if they announced it at MWC in February, if they did indeed, they would be releasing it a month later. So you're looking at a long time. And if you can hold out, then I'd say at the very least maybe hold out for the Pixel, the regular Pixel, because that's going to be another slightly smaller Android phone that runs Android 8 that might sway you. But yeah, this is a really, really good phone. And also just make sure you're okay with the 32 gig of storage on board. Okay, I won't say that one.
Hammer that home. Thank you for your question.
I sent the S8 back as it was too choppy and stuttery.
Oh, really?
Interesting. It's scrolling smooth. That's from Johnny King. I found scrolling really smooth.
Yeah, scrolling really smooth, but I also found it smooth on the S8, so I don't know if that was something you had as a problem on your unit, or if that's just something that you, like, that's something you're really, really prone to noticing. I've not noticed the problem at all on the Compact. As you say,
and
on
Android
the S8
8
either.
Stability as well. Any issues?
No,
no issues with Android 8 stability at all. Thanks, Johnny King. Elio Hallo asks, is there DisplayPort support via the USB? Nope, unfortunately not. I think Samsung at the moment is the only one that provides DisplayPort via USB, and the reason they do that probably is because they want to support DeX. So they support a MHL out via USB-C.
Yeah, so that's S8, S8 Plus, and the Galaxy Note 8. So all three of those phones would suit you if that's what you're looking for.
Have you done much wired plugging in listening? No. I haven't. So this does have LDAC, I think it is.
Yeah.
I haven't done much wired stuff. It's all been wireless. The wireless, it supports the newest aptX codec, so lossless audio codec over Bluetooth, and it's been really, really good.
Yeah, that's something that I don't really try. I should probably try more with phones at the moment, really, because I'm so used to being Bluetooth only for the phones that don't have headphone jacks. When there is a headphone jack, I'm not always jumping back to use it. So yeah, it's something I'll definitely test before my full review goes up.
So in answer to your question, no display port, and the sound's great over. Oh, it's got a really aggressive vibrate.
Yeah, really aggressive. You probably heard that, I think.
Yeah. So Arta Fonseca asks, will it be possible to use a 3D in PlayStation? We broached that subject earlier. We don't know yet, but we really hope so. It would make sense. In fact, it would be the only thing I can think of that would actually justify it being on this phone, aside from the lol factor.
I kind of... If they're going to do that, though, why didn't they announce that at the time? Maybe. Do you know what I mean? I feel like that's something they should have gone, look, this is the use case for this, and it would really sell these phones. Like, to PlayStation owners who are... There's many of them, and there's many of them that will want to be able to put their face on their character in their game. So yeah,
completely agree. But maybe PlayStation wasn't ready, because Sony is like still siloed in like with regards to they do have these different divisions. So maybe it's something that they've started. I guess so. Yeah,
get the feature out there, get it out there for a year or so, and then go. Oh yeah, by the way, you can also connect that to this.
Yeah, we'll see.
Come on, please make that happen.
Hamanu McDugachi, he just basically says, he pronounced my name correctly, and then I just messed it up. So wronging my right there.
Amazing.
I think that's most of the questions in the comments section. So like, just summarizing, if you had to give the XZ1 compact a star rating, what would you give it at this stage?
At this stage, so not my full review. I haven't finished testing the phone yet.
Check back to techradar.com. James's full review will be live.
I'm hoping to get it up. Yeah, I'm hoping to get it up by the end of the week. I'm leaning on a 4-star review at the moment. I think there are still a few little problems with it, as we said with storage, as we've said with I did have something else that I forgot a problem with. I do think it's a little bit too expensive. I think for a smaller phone, I think it would have been really nice if they'd gone for the $399 price point. That would have been great to compete with
the Honor.
To compete with the Honor 9, or it'd be even cheaper than a OnePlus 5. So, and for a smaller phone, that's probably what people are looking for as well. So at the moment I'm leaning on like a 4-star review. It's kind of how I'm thinking about it. How about you?
Exactly the same. It's a 4-star review pretty much for both. This would have been a 5 or a 4.5 at the very least if it had 64 gig of storage. So Sony, that's a huge thing for a lot of commenters as well, if you are watching this off chance. The thing that's holding it back is the fact it doesn't massively innovate, and a couple of screen issues I've had. Once they're resolved, I'll give a star rating for the XZ1.
Exactly, yeah. For full reviews, that's when we can...
But at the very least, Sony's put out 2 phones that are solid. Massive kudos for launching with Android 8 on both, providing really decent user experiences, a great feature set, and especially on the compact, something different.
Yeah, it is something different. There isn't really an Android phone right now that is that kind of high-end spec, but also... being able to offer a smaller screen, that is a fantastic thing. And if that's really what you're looking for, and you don't want to go for an iPhone, then the compact is probably the best one to go for. And it's a big upgrade on the X compact and the Xperia X and everything that came before it, really.
Yeah. One last question from Johnny King.
Okay.
And this is perfect for you. Would you go for the XZ1 or the OnePlus 5?
XZ1 or the OnePlus 5? OnePlus 5 is much cheaper, isn't it? It is quite a bit cheaper. I think we're talking £150.
So 500.
No, 500.
599 to 450. Yeah, 150. You're right.
So £150 cheaper. You're getting pretty much the same spec, and I think personally, I find the OnePlus 5 camera easier to use,
and it's got the dual cameras.
It's got more features. Well, not more features, but more useful features, I find personally. I'd probably lean on the OnePlus 5. Unless you're a massive Sony fan, you really like that design, you really like the way it all works together, and it's got Android 8 waiting on it, when the OnePlus 5 may have to wait for that for a little bit longer. We don't know exactly when that'll be upgraded. We hope it will be upgraded. I don't even know if OnePlus have confirmed yet. I would assume it will get Android 8. So yeah, I'd lean toward the OnePlus 5, but also check out our full reviews for the XZ1 to work out if that's for you.
Yeah, I'd agree if they were priced differently, because I think the OnePlus 5 does offer value for money that no other contender can compete with. Interestingly, other than maybe Nokia, because Nokia's price is $499 and
Honor.
expandable. Honor, yeah, absolutely.
Honor,
Sorry,
I think does compete with that.
It does. It does. At a smaller size, but then again, so does Huawei, the Nokia even. But one thing that this does, which I love, and you know I love this has the stereo front speakers as well, that the OnePlus 5 doesn't. So yeah, these phones are really, really good. They aren't perfect. Thank you guys for all your comments. They've actually fueled my review as well as I'm sure yours. So we really do appreciate it. Any other questions that we didn't get back to, fire them in the comments section. We'll do our best to answer. Have a fantastic day and tune back in on Thursday when John will be on the couch talking about, I think, something to do with an Xbox or something.
Yeah, I don't really know. Like, who cares about that? You can't hold it in your hand, so like, why would you care?
Exactly.
Cool. See you later, guys.
Bye.